Last week we made patterns in the sand by hand. This week the sand moves on its own. No rake, no touch, just smooth motion in a yin-yang design. How does it work? Well, let's build it and find out. It's part art, part engineering, and surprisingly doable with the right tools. Welcome back to Timber West Design, where we talk timber, shade structures, and outdoor living. Here's the supplies you're going to need for this project. A Simmental cement mix, a mixer to mix it in, a scale to weigh the ratio of 4:1 of Simmental to water. You need a mold to pour it in. This is one of the molds. I think this took like 10 molds to make this thing. You need some mold release. The mechanism behind here, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll show you all the guts behind this and how this all works. This is a little gear motor that goes in there. You need some spot putty, some sandpaper, some paint, and some primer. Let's get this thing built. This is really cool. I can't wait to show you how it works. The inspiration for this project came from a project I found on Bamboo Lab's website. It's called the Zen Marble Pattern Generation. The creator is Django Cashflow. I 3D printed this, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to watch. My grandkids had fun playing with it. And you know, I thought I'm gonna make my own version of this. So I used the main components of this, modified them for my version with the yin-yang double version, and I really enjoyed it. So I came up with this yin-yang shape. The circle portion right here fits that Zen Marble pattern generator. And then I just continued the look and shape all the way around. Made this concrete bowl. So if I take the top pieces are 3D printed, if I take them off, then this bowl will be concrete. And then in the, I had to make these in fourths. There's actually a left and a right because of this recessed area for the lower bowl. So you got a left and a right on each side, and then the top, which is actually the bottom here. This is how it pours. The dark blue represents the concrete. Bolt these all together. Let's send this to the 3D printer and we'll get ready to make some. This is a fairly straightforward 3D print. The bottom section has 4 pieces, the top section has 4 pieces, and then you have the 2 yin-yang parts. My 3D printer's been busy. These are the parts for the base of the structure. We're gonna start bolting these together, and the bolts help hold it together as well as register the molds to each other or line them up. So we'll just get this all put together and we'll get to that point. So I've got this section put together, got this section put together. We're just gonna snug them up. Not too tight, but just good and snug. So what we're gonna do next now is mold release. These are gonna go together like so, but I can't get mold release in there, so we'll put mold release on these 2 sections and then assemble it. All mixed up and ready to pour. Got a few little lumps in there. You keep mixing and mixing and think you get it all, and then you still have some lumps, but it'll still be good. So nice and slow. Make sure all the voids get filled in down below. And now we just kind of get it leveled off. And there we go, I think we got it. So I like to just tap it, get some air out of this thing, make sure it's all level. And I'll continue to do this. I went slightly above the lip. As it sets up, I'll tool the bottom. And we'll tool that, get it nice and flat, and we'll take it to that point. On the bottom of some of my projects, I just come down to a sharp edge, and then you just have a flat bottom mold, and the mold comes down flat. Sometimes you want a radius on the bottom. So if that's the case, then your mold needs to come up and feathered like this one. So this is a feather-edged mold. I wanted a radius on the bottom of the bowl, and that's why we did it this way. So I'm gonna just tool this a little bit. Might be a little early, but just come in here, just make sure everything's nice and flat. I'll just work this, get it nice and smooth, and then we'll pull it in a few hours. Quality sleep is the foundation of our health. It influences how we think, feel, and perform. When we sleep well, we enjoy more energy and focus, stronger immune system, improved mood and mental clarity, greater resilience to stress. Imagine sleeping like a baby every night. Think what your life would be like if you could sleep deeper, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling fully refreshed and rejuvenated every day. With Newcom's proven sleep protocol, you can enjoy the best sleep of your life with ease. It's been a few hours, it's time to unbolt. So depending on the complexity of the project and how thin the walls are, you can pull things after 3 hours with Cementol. Sometimes, if I want it to be a little stronger, I'll let it go longer. In this case, we went about probably 5 or 6 hours, but it's nice and flat and ready to pull. So I will unbolt the rest of these and we'll pull the molds off and see how it looks. This is one of the more exciting parts of any project, is pulling the mold off for the first time. Every project I'm doing on this channel, this is the first time I'm making it. So we just see how it goes and hopefully it turns out. These are pretty loose. This is going to come off really easy. Looks good. So on this one, I'm going to pop it this way and we'll just hit the edge. And just like so, there we go. Love it when a plan comes together. So I'm going to give this probably overnight. We'll sand the seams where all the parting lines are, and I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be fun. After the part dries, we come in and take some sandpaper and just hit where the two molds come together. That seam is called a parting line. It's technically not a seam, it's a parting line. And we'll just sand that. I'm sanding it with 150 here. If it's a little bit more aggressive, I have some heavier paper with a block. I can hit stuff, but we just want to go around, sand it all, make sure it's all feeling nice and smooth, and get it ready for priming. So I'm taking a block to roll the edge here, and I wanted this to blend in. This is what I was talking about, having a feather edge on the mold. So you have a sharp edge, and that comes up, and then you get a nice feather blend into the bottoms like that. So I take the block and just roll it and make sure everything feels nice and smooth. It's going to look great. The primer has had time to dry. There are some flaws. There's always going to be a few little flaws here and there. So what we do is we take some spot putty. I like to take a glove or a putty knife, but in this case we'll take a glove. I can just smear it in. Not too thick so it dries fast. In a couple hours we can just touch this. On the bottom here I got some pinholes, so I think I'm going to do another coat of primer, because the primer is a filling primer and it'll fill a lot of these. So I think what we'll do is, after I spot putty the edge, I'm going to re-prime this upside down and see what we can do to fill in some of these holes. So let's get to that point. These yin-yang shapes were too big for my printer, so I had to do it in 2 pieces. So what we're going to do is put some super glue on here, glue this together, line it up, and kick it with the kicker. I'm going to put a little bit on the back side, just a little bead, and kick that. There we go. So one of these will be a light color and one will be a dark color. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this to the paint booth and I'm going to paint this one white. I've got the spot putty sanded down with 150. It's looking pretty good, but I'm going to do one final prime just to make sure everything's looking good. And what I'm going to do on this last one is I'm just going to do the top half. I'll let it set up a little bit and I'll flip it and do the bottom so I can see it much better. But this is looking pretty good. After this coat, it'll just be a light sand and we'll be ready to paint. I've got the second coat of primer on here. There was just a couple little spots, so I did some a little bit more spot putty. At this point, what I like to do is do a flat black guide coat. So we're just going to fog this on, just very, very light. That's all it's going to take. Get just a quick little super light coat. The guide coat and primer are dry, so we're going to take some 150 grit sandpaper and we'll start sanding. And as you can see, there's a little bit there, some of the dark spots, that's just a little bit low. And you just keep sanding it until those are either gone, or potentially you might need to fill that, or in my case I'm going to use a textured paint, so a small little minor imperfection that will get covered up with the textured paint anyway. So this is the next step. We'll sand this all, then final it with some 220 to just kind of get some of the 150 scratches out, and it'll be ready to paint. I'm going to use this textured paint from Rust-Oleum. I just need it on the border here, not in the middle. So I'm just going to focus on that. This doesn't cover super well. That's why we have a white base. This can take probably 3 quick little coats like this. So I'll just do a light one now, let that sit for a bit, come back and hit it again. This is the dark side of the yin yang. Same thing, we're just focusing on the outer border. This covers better than the white one, be easier to do. This is going on quite nice, so it'll, 2 coats will give it plenty. So that's enough for this one. Now let's move on to the bowl. I'm going to do this one in 2 steps. Well, I'll focus on this inside corner. If I had it the other way around, it'd be super hard to get in here and get a nice paint on this return here. So what I'll do is I'll focus on this lower half. I'll let that dry a little bit, then I'll flip it, and then we'll do the finished paint job. I'm going to just lay a little bit more on there, but this might be the last coat. I don't know, we'll see. I need to run a power cord through the bottom of this bowl. It's going to be a USB power cord. So I drilled a 5/8 hole, cut a slot with the Dremel. I'm just going to do a quick little touch-up paint on this, just so it looks a little bit better. So we're getting ready to put this thing together now. So the mechanism behind this whole thing starts with this cool 3D printed gearbox. I got this from a maker on Bamboo Labs. I'll send a link to it in the description. So I did not design or invent this. Took this and modified it for my project. But the way this works is you have a little gear motor in the bottom, put a spur gear on there, then you have this little guy that goes here, and then you have a number of different sprockets. It's kind of like a spirograph with magnets. So you add magnets on here, move the bearing to the needed spot. So I'm going to use the big one in this case. And then when you plug it in, it goes around like that. And then when you put a lid on it and put a ball in, and when this has sand, the ball just goes and makes a pattern. So it's really cool. I've made this for myself at home, put sand in it. It's really mesmerizing. I really like how this works. But what I wanted to do, of course, is I can't do anything normal. I have to do something crazy cool. So that's why we did the double. So I want to do 2 of them, and we're going to put them in the bowl next. So what I have in mind is I'm going to put one of these here, put one of these here, and the yin-yang shape goes in here and goes in here like that. And then we'll put the sand in, and this is how it's going to work. Install the gear motor into the little piece here. We've got this little retainer clip that snaps in place, if I can get it in there. Like so. That holds the motor in place. You got a little groove here for the wire. There's this little trim piece that goes around that this gets locked in on. The way the yin-yang shape works, I only can capture about half of that because this needs to be flat, so I had to grind this portion off with the Dremel tool. Then we put a bearing in here next. We put the bearing into this arm. That little guy corresponds with that on there. This goes in like so. And to run 2 of these are powered by USB. I got a USB-Y splitter, so we'll wire that up. I'll hook these together. That's what the hole is for in here, is to run the main line out, and then we can plug it in. I'm going to put just a little bit of CA glue to hold the magnet in place. Let that dry. I'll probably put a little kicker on there to hold it, and we'll do that to the other 2, and then we'll be ready to go. Here's the sand. It's time to pour it in. What you can kind of do is just shake it, get it leveled off here. Now we'll put some balls. So you can put a larger one in here, you can put a small one in here. We'll try them both and see how they do. Let's plug it in. Cool flower shape there, that's kind of cool. So there's 3 different magnets on each one of these things. So that's actually 3 different patterns. So you can kind of choose, depending on where you put the ball, on which pattern you're going to make. But there you go, finished product. This is just kind of mesmerizing just to watch. You can put a little decoration here. This obviously is not going to have any pattern here and here, but just in the round portion. But I think I'm going to make some decorations, some little ornaments or something like that here, and just kick back and watch it go. There's something relaxing about just watching the patterns form. Smooth, effortless, just fun to watch. If you want to build your own, you can go to my website at timberwestdesign.com, look up the files, download them, and print your own files to make this. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more fun, cool projects in the future. I've got some really cool stuff coming up. It's going to be fun. Love to have you aboard. See you next time.